Miami Dolphins 31, New York Giants 16. Dolphins moved to 4-1.
What a game.
Giants 1-4. It was, man, if Tua didn't throw the ball to the defense, game would have been a lot worse. The Giants scored their first half touchdown when Tua threw the ball through the hands of, I forget which Giants defender it was, popped into Jason Pinnock's hands, who takes it back for 100. What was the official? 100.
So they're
102-yard interception return. So the Dolphins are up 14-3.
So there are only
late
points
in
the first half of the season.
They're only touchdown.
Pick six.
They're only touchdown. They had kicked a field goal in this game. So the only first half touchdown this year for the Giants is a 102-yard interception, pick six. So the Dolphins were closing in on going up 21-3. They actually kicked another field goal before the end of the half. So that one kept it kind of close. But yeah, Miami's Dolphins too much for the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, this was back to the Miami we'd seen for most of the first 5 weeks of the season. They were unstoppable on offense. They're too fast for the Giants, too creative, which is too easy for most of it. Like Tua was contributing to the only thing stopping that offense. They're so creative. Like, obviously, everyone talks about the speed, which is self-evident at all times, but it's how creative they are with that speed. And they're not just saying, we are faster than you, we're going to win because you can't match the speed we have on offense. So, like, we're also going to create a ton of misdirection and make it like difficult for you to track the speed and then get the ball in their hands in these weird creative ways. So you've got like Devin Achane getting an end around after some misdirection. You're like, the guy's already faster than everybody we have on defense, and now you're getting him the ball when everyone's just flowing the opposite direction because Tyreek Hill or whoever it is going there. It's harsh. Like, it's too hard to stop. And so people can't stop it. Miami now has, using those NGS numbers, the 7 fastest single-play ball-carrying speeds are all Miami Dolphins this season. It's like Achane got a big play, and they're like, he might be the fastest guy in the NFL. And then it's like Tyreek Hill just goes, hold my beer, makes a big play, tops him on the chart. Now it's like, actually, not only is he not the fastest guy in the NFL, he's probably the 3rd or 4th fastest guy in his own offense. And then Miami also in this game set and then extended a record for the most yardage through 5 games of any offense in NFL history. They overtook the greatest show on turf, which was previously, by the way, how impressive was that? The greatest show on turf 20 years ago was previously the most productive offense in the NFL through 5 games.
I'd say this every now and then, I think, if you've listened to the podcast, but could you imagine if we were doing the podcast back in 1999 where Kurt Warner, after stocking grocery shelves, just comes in and starts leading the greatest offense. Now, that might have been the year 2000 where they had the yards, not 99. But 99...
It was 99s.
Either way, both of those years, they were electric. It kind of fell apart in 2000. Yeah. But in 99, Kurt Warner out of nowhere, I feel like I would have been over here doubting Kurt Warner every single week. Like, we won't be able to keep it up.
It was 2000.
It was 2000. But in 99 is when he took over, and they were electric then as well. Would have been crazy. But yeah, it's very impressive for the Rams, but it's very impressive for the Dolphins. Did you see? Go ahead.
Yes. It's not dissimilar from the Brock Purdy thing, right? Like, a guy comes from absolutely nowhere to lead basically the best offense in the NFL. Now, Kurt Warner was doing it in a different way than Brock Purdy, so it depends how closely you're paying attention, how tight that narrative would be.
Yeah, but there's some similarities.
Yeah,
but Warner was taking over a team that had won like 6 games in 3 years with the Rams. Purdy's taken over an offense that's already been cooking. He just looks like he's the perfect engineer for that thing, and executing it really well. A couple things. Did you see Mike McDaniel's response?
Yes.
To that was
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Our plan all along was to have the best numbers in the world through 5 games.
Yeah. So that was great.
Do you see Miami's punt return unit got flagged for 12 men on the field with 11 men on the field?
They did?
Yeah. They had to get
that's the thing. Like, I'm not watching that.
I don't know
I'm
what
not
happened.
Picking up that note.
But there was some kind of breakdown because a guy was running off. But the guy that was running off, I'm pretty sure, was the 11th man on the field. And because he was running off, the officials were like, I didn't make it. Throw the flag. 12 men. And then they had to actually challenge the play to be like, we only had 11.
Yeah.
I can't work out if they were. I couldn't work out at the time. A lot of games going on, a lot of plates spinning in the air.
Which is why I don't focus on this stuff.
You gotta dive in there. I couldn't work out whether he challenged because he thought the last guy running off made it, and therefore it didn't matter if it was the 12th man because he was off the field anyway, or if he challenged it knowing that we only had 11 guys on the field either way, so it's not a penalty. Either way, he won, so it didn't matter.
That's outstanding. Mm-hmm. The Giants, the grades aren't live yet, PFF.com. However,
they're unlikely to be good.
3 weeks after they had the third worst pass blocking grade that we've seen since 2020.
Yeah.
This game may have been worse.
Oh, God.
At quick glance.
Well,
you see the number.
Jalen Mayfield was playing in this game, and that's not a good thing.
The pass blocking grade is under 20 as of right now.
Just look at the personnel they're dealing with. Yeah. I mean, Evan Neal, okay, fine. Mark Lewinsky, Ben Bredeson, Jalen Mayfield, Joshua Ezeudu, and Matt Peart got on the field.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So conversely, the Dolphins defense will look splendid. Andrew Van Ginkel with double-digit pressures, Bradley Chubb, Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler. They got after it, man. So credit the Dolphins, but Giants are looking pretty bad. A couple other notes here. Daniel Jones leaves with a neck injury.
After his sixth sack.
Yeah, it's just...
which is like record-setting pace.
We'll talk about the Patriots soon, too, but there's certain teams, like when it's snowballing, it just seems to get worse and worse, right? Like the Monday night game for Daniel Jones, when he got sacked 10 times, there were certain ones where it's like, oh, that's on Daniel Jones. But you have to be like, man, at some point, how do you have any confidence in anything? Like, how do you just go through your progressions like it's normal? You just lose it, so it snowballs and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Giants bad.
This is the thing. I don't know that even coaches truly appreciate that as much as maybe they should. Like, remember, you see the sequence a week ago, like when Daniel Jones threw the completely indefensible, terrible interception in the red zone, and Brian Daboll's like losing his mind on the sideline, like launching the iPad and stuff. And you're like, that was bad. That was terrible, right? On the other hand, you basically crossed the point, crossed the threshold where Daniel Jones is effectively in any way responsible for what happens in a game anymore. Like, yeah, there was no real pressure on that particular play. Having said that, the dude has like post-traumatic stress disorder from the previous pressures that have been in every other play. He can't function. Like, you can't just switch it off for the one play where it doesn't manifest and say, well, this play was clean, what's your problem? Which I think even coaches don't fully appreciate at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you deal with all that. So the last thing I want to mention is Devin Achane. He is now number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards. He ranks 37th in carries.
Yes.
But he's second in the league in rushing. In this game, he goes 11 carries for $151. That's 13.7 per carry. And his average barely went up a little bit. It went up a little bit, but it barely went up. He's averaging over 12 yards per carry this season. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Achane, statistically, through 5 games. And he's a rookie as well. Like, this is his introduction to the NFL. I don't think we're at the point where it's going to be like, look, Raheem Mostert's really good, too, in this offense. I don't think we're at the point where it's like, well, give Achane, 20 carries. Let's extend that out. But I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I think there was a stretch. Remember, I had to look it up. Napoleon Kaufman. Remember Napoleon Kaufman for the Raiders?
No.
You don't?
No.
He was a big play threat. He had this stretch of like 5 games in 99 or 2000 where he had 200-yard games, and he was a big play guy. He just kept reeling off these 50-yarders. That's Achane in this right now.
There was, the two that jumped to mind. I mean, Jamal Charles' entire career was a little bit like this.
Yeah.
Albeit in a slightly less turbocharged version. And then C.J. Spiller had a year like that where his entire year was just big plays.
And Mike Renner, rest in peace, he made a, look at you, a Chris Johnson comparison. Chris Johnson, angle-breaking speed.
Yeah.
And so imagine coming into the season, maybe there might be some Achane fans out there that were like, of course we knew this guy was Chris Johnson. But imagine knowing what the Dolphins have on offense, and it's like, hey, this offseason, we're going to add
But it's all
Chris
like,
Johnson to it.
That's the thing. It's like, imagine those players within this type of offense. Like, as fast and as like Raheem Mostert is a good player, right? But I think it's fairly clear that Raheem Mostert in a normal offense doesn't look like this. You have to apply that to everybody within this offense. Like, every single one of these people is not only a fast player that's a great playmaker, but they're collectively being supercharged by the scheme and how wide open everybody is. Like, early in this game, Tua's just dropping back, and it's instant throws to wide open guys that are just untouched. It's insane. So, like, Achan's looking great, and his college tape was great and all that kind of thing. But, like, if you remember, there was a time where Barry Sanders was concerned about being put into, like, a run-and-shoot offense. Because back in the day, it was like the way that running backs get production is I formation, heavy power running offenses. And I forget whoever it was, but they were like, dude, you're going to run for 2,000 yards in this offense because we're going to spread everybody out horizontal. We're going to take guys out of the box. You're going to have more space than you've ever had before, and your production is going to go to the moon. This is a way more sophisticated version of that, where everybody in this offense has twice the amount of space to work in that they typically do or would in any other offense. And that just, sends everything skyward. Like, Chris Johnson in this offense, I mean, what did he run? 2,060-something yards? God knows what his numbers would be.